Alrighty, here we are, Chapter 6 test, everything you always wanted to know about percent. And you're going to demonstrate all this fine and fabulous knowledge, so here we go. We started this first one in class, actually we got through it all. And so the big thing that I want you to make sure you're doing is denoting every single part here as we read through it. This is the total cost of her house. You have to formulate each one of those tax amounts, get the grand total, and then put the final answer in the multiple choice there, which also is written here as well. All right. On question number 2, translate this exactly and you'll figure it out. All right. What percent? That's your unknown. Of always translates into multiply. 54, put that there. Is translates into the equal sign. 108. This is your unknown, therefore you must undo the multiplying by 54 with division. So it's a division problem. When you solve this, you get P is 2. Now hold your horses. This is not 2%. This is the number value that you need to convert into a percent. And I think we talked a little bit about this one before and said, hey, if I took 100% of 54, I would get 54. This final answer is much bigger, and that's why my answer has to be way bigger than 100% in order to yield an answer of 108, specifically 200%. All right, next problem, number 3. This is the bank one. Read through it. You have this as your principal. It's a period of 15 years. That's the time. This is the interest rate. And so this is a simple interest problem where the formula is right there. So straight out multiply principal times the rate times the time. And when you do this, this is going to be a bit alarming because the interest alone is $92,880. Oh my goodness, that's the interest. That's more than the loan was itself. And the killer here is because you're taking it over all that time. So there's your interest. Now what is the total amount? Now you have to take the initial $86,000 and add the interest of $92,800. And that's why you should get a total of $178,800. Alrighty, turn the page. Here we go to question number 4. These are pretty straight out, but I want you to show me that you are translating this into math. I want you to show me the work. 147 is your equal sign. 56% of is the multiplying, and what number? You choose whatever variable you want. Okay, W, N, X, Z, whatever you want. All right, I look at this, 56% of something equals 147. That means in order to isolate my variable, I'm going to have to divide by 56%, which means on my left-hand side of the equation, you have to divide by 56%. Completely exactly equal items, and the numerator and the denominator go to 1. And when you solve this, you end up getting, and it does say round, so you should get a number that's far larger than the 147 because 56% is less than 1, and you do end up getting 262.5 C. All right, number 5, put these in order, least to greatest. Convert these all into either all decimals or all percents, or all fractions with the same denominator. I'm going to stick with decimals. This is already there. This is 1 and 55 hundredths. 81 hundredths is 0.81 or 0.81. And then, careful here, 0.07% is an incredibly tiny number. 0.0007. So 7/10,000ths is really what that is. So clearly, winner, winner, chicken dinner, that guy's the smallest. So I'm going to bop out B and D. It's got to be between these guys. Now notice, they have the same first and second numbers in the list. So really, we need to determine which one is smallest and what comes next. 81 hundredths, this guy is far smaller than 1 and 55 hundredths. So it's not A, it has to be C. Show me the work, how you're converting all of those into decimals. Number 6, this problem is talking about an original price. Show me the work. We have to get a reduction of 25%. So go ahead and find out what that discount is. Okay? When you do that, you get something like $178.75. Now, slow down, Speedy Sally. I see that answer here, but hold on. It's not asking me what the discount amount was. It's asking me what is the reduced or the sale price. To get to the new price, you have to take $7.15 and subtract this discount. And then that will give you your final answer, which in this case should be C. Now, if, by chance, if you were not able, or if you wanted to do it in one step, you could also use this train of thought and say, if I'm getting 25% off, I'm really paying 75% of the full price. And you could take $7.15 times 75%, and bam, you'd get that answer right away. But you can always resort to this method. Okay, find the percent increase or decrease from 400 to 336. First of all, it's going down, so it's got to be a decrease. Get those two options out of there. Figure out how much did it change. In other words, find the difference, and then we always divide it by the original or the starting value. My decrease was 64. My original number is 400. Go ahead, grab your calculator and convert that. You get as a decimal 0.16 or 16 hundredths, which is 16% as a decimal. That should be D. Number 8. In reading through this one, the key is in this part of the sentence here. What percent? Phew, that's your unknown. In fourth hour today, we chose just the letter B. They chose a random variable. Okay. Of is multiply. The compound. In reading the statement or the problem up here, the compound weighs 90 ounces. Is, there's your equal sign, made up of copper. A copper was 6 ounces. So here's where you get your original equation. B times 90 equals 6. Divide both sides by 90. This fraction, or if you just want to zoom right to that, it's 6 ounces of copper out of the entire 90 ounces. You get that fraction and then convert it into the percent, and you should get D. All right, we're coming into the last half of the review here. All right, you read through this. Here's Bianca, Abby, Brooke, and Dalton. All right, they each get a portion of the votes. There's a total of 600. So Bianca gets half of the votes. Half times 600 is going to give me 300 votes. So there's Bianca's amount. Brooke gets 21%. If you take 21% of the 600 votes, you'll see that she gets 126. Abby received 17 hundredths of the votes, and that gives us 102. Last but not least, how much does Dalton get? Well, you could either add these three numbers up and then subtract from 600, and that would tell you how much it is. So we could certainly do that. 300, 126, 102. Add them all up. That's how many votes have been cast so far. So now take the 600 and figure out what's remaining for Dalton here, and I believe we get 72 votes. Now, what percent is that? Well, you could either add up all these percentages and see what's left for Dalton. That'd be one way. 1/2 is 50%. Brooke got 21%. Abby got 17 hundredths, which is 17%. Figure this out. What is that? 88%. which leaves 12% for Dalton. That's 12%. Or you could simply say, well, he got 72 votes out of the 600. Convert that into a percent. Get the same answer. B. Show me your work. That's all part of the whole process here. All right, find the missing piece. E. At 25%, that means that's 25 hundredths as a fraction, which means in simplest form, that's 1/4. Please write the fraction 1/4 on here. Right away, I can go like this. F is above the 1/2. 1/2 is the same as 50 out of 100, which is 50%. Cool? 50%. And G, 85% is 85 1/100ths as a fraction. In simplest form, that's 17 20ths. I find which one matches there. Oh, do you see how they're trying to mess with you? Watch out for that. Same thing with G being really off there. So your answer for this is D. Make sure you show me some work. Last two problems. Number 11. Read through the problem first, and again, pause the video if you need to do that. Our yearly salary right now is $25,400. Okay? I'm going to get a bonus of 3.5%. So the first thing you need to do is write this down and figure out what your bonus is. This is money, and when you calculate that, I see we get something like $889. Okay, but it didn't ask what my bonus is. It says what will be your total pay. So my total is going to be equal to what my normal salary is plus the bonus I just received. That's going to be my total pay. Alrighty, simply add them all up now, and we should get $26,289. Please label it. Last but not least is question number 12, and I've already filled some of this in here, so let's take a look at what's going on. I'm going to get my highlighter out. Okay, the car rental company, it starts at $36 a day, so here's my $36. We are increasing the cost 15%, so if I take 15% of this, I see that $5.40 is the amount of the increase. I need to add that increase onto the $36, and now I get what my summer fee is going to be, $41.40. Okay, this next part, there's going to be a 20% off promotion for the fall. Based on the summer fee, that was the $41.40, what will the per day rental cost be for the fall promotion? 20% discount. So if I take 20% of $41.40, $8.28 is the discount. So I need to subtract this discount from the summer fee, and this will be the new fall rate, $33.12. The extra bonus part here, it says what would the percent of increase or decrease be from the original $36. So this is your starting number. Make a little like ST for starting. $36 starting originally to the fall rate. So right now in the fall, I am at $33.12. Okay, so I'm starting here, I'm ending here. That's originally what that said. What is the difference when you subtract those two? I changed by $2.88. My original price was $36. When you do that subtraction, you get this decimal, 800ths, and that is an 8% overall decrease in the price from where you started to now where you end. All right, your test will look just like this. And so look these over. If you are able to do the computations and show your work, you will do an awesome job on the test. Good luck.